I believe Marco Rubio does have what it takes, and I think Marco Rubio is playing his position well. He has not become MAGA; he's been a diplomat. Okay, that's what he's been. He's been a diplomat, and I am not. I can't agree that Marco Rubio isn't doesn't have what it takes to win. So I just want to put that out there. I think the things that you're saying. I get what you're saying, um, to God, but I don't agree with what you're saying.
And to God, I just
Jonathan, you
want to
trying
say
to
this one
sabotage
thing.
the other side. I see you.
I'm
To
saying to
God,
you,
I
I
agree
don't
with to
think that they
God
have a
because
strong
he said
candidate.
something that look,
I don't think
nobody
the
can
Republicans
replace
have a
Trump.
strong candidate.
Wait, are you talking? Sorry, go ahead.
I said I don't think the Republicans have a strong candidate coming out of the Trump era, right? That's going to have the same type of impact. I think that it's other people that may be on the Democratic side that may have a stronger voice in this next round of elections.
Well, who is that Democratic strong voice then?
The governor of Maryland,
Who? Who is that? I don't even know who that is.
Wes Moore.
Wes Moore.
Who is
Yeah,
talking about West Moore right now?
Wes Moore is African American, and I don't think that that's going to work. We got to stop playing games right now. I'm sorry. I'm
You
Well,
don't
here's
think
sorry.
the
it's going
thing.
to work? You don't think it's going to work with this guy? He's got military background. He's been a governor. He's doing real great. He speaks well. He looks well. I think this guy could do something.
To God, you'll notice that this is a marathon, and the
Now he's
person
articulate.
who is going to get endorsed by their party, it depends on the party's strength at that time. And right now, the momentum is clearly on the Republican side. I'm calling this as balls and strikes as well, because if Trump keeps winning, and you know what, things keep happening over the next few years, it doesn't matter how strong a Democrat candidate comes up, because there's going to be people that see the implementation of policies and the different ways that he's able to fix things. It doesn't matter if Vance or Rubio runs or anybody else. It could be Marjorie Taylor Greene for all that. And God knows nobody would vote for her. But if the party is strong, they're going to win. Right now, in order for even a Wes Moore, who nobody is talking about right now, more people have name recognition with J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, go down the list, even Governor DeSantis for that. You got to look at Newsom as being your strongest candidate right now, and he's not even popular. Like literally, the party is turning on him right now. So there's a lot of turmoil and chaos. Doesn't matter who they run; it matters how strong the party is when election time and primaries come.
I think that Wes Moore is a great candidate, but right now we need to win. Okay, and uh, I think to be safe, I'm sorry. We gotta go white male. I'm sorry. And I know that sounds crazy, okay? But we just, this the Republicans have made it identity politics, okay? And like I said earlier, I said this earlier in the room. Obama ran against John McCain and Mitt Romney, okay? And those are great, good character people, okay? Great character people, and they lost. All right, and because they wanted to keep it clean and above board. Okay, Donald Trump ran against Hillary and he ran against Kamala. All right, and he did identity politics. Okay, and he won. So once again, that's how he won identity politics. They lost when they didn't do the last time they didn't do identity politics. Okay, the last three times they didn't do identity politics, they won. Okay, I mean they lost. Okay, Obama, okay, and Trump. Okay, with Joe Biden. Okay, so why are you going to serve that platter up again? Okay, he went after the female. He went after said that they were pretty much and Hillary embraced that I'm with her and all that other shit. Okay, and Kamala did try to do that same goddamn thing again, and Trump wiped the floor with him. Okay, he wiped the floor with him. All right. So both times when we ran someone, and they play identity politics. So with that being said, I'm all for like, hey, let's play it safe and let's go with a white male. I know
But
that sounds.
who's this magical white male you talking about? Because there's nobody standing out.
I don't know yet, bro. You blame Biden for that because if Biden had let a fucking primary happen, we would have fucking had some. We had like two or three or four. We
It's
probably
going
wouldn't
to
have
be
to
a
go.
power vacuum.
Well, hold on one second. Here, you want to get mad? If Biden had let this primary played out, we probably wouldn't have to go white male. Boom, there you go. Blame Biden.
It's going to be a power vacuum. When Trump leaves the office, there's going to be a power vacuum. There's not somebody that's as powerful as Trump right now in politics, right? If there's nobody to step into his shoes when he's gone, they all going to be scrambling until the right person steps up.
The God, are you in a power vacuum right now? It sounds like you're vacuuming your floor.
Storm, please don't bring up Newsom. He's ruined California. If you guys want the United States ruined, then that's the one.
No, we definitely want to bring up Newsom because we want him to run because we know he'll lose. Anybody we put
Houston is
up against
horrible.
Newsom, it's game over.
That
Yeah,
would be
Houston
the
is really
worst thing that
horrible.
could happen to America. I'll tell you that right now.
Even
Well,
looks
whoever
the
runs on
part.
the Republican side has to solidify MAGA. MAGA is actually the ones that have all the energy in the Republican Party. And without a Donald Trump, I don't know who can solidify you guys. Who's crazy as Donald Trump?
I
Nobody
heard
is as
that
crazy as
today.
Donald Trump, Carlos. Nobody's Donald Trump. Nobody's going to replace him. Nobody's going to mimic him or imitate him. What we're looking for is we're looking for a shift in the party because we do have some spineless Republicans who are just trying to play both sides of the field and not making any sense and not doing what's right for the country. They're more interested in their individual pocketbooks than they are the American people. And look, we can call those folks out. I can call Democrats out.
You
I
talking about
also
Donald
know that
Trump?
there are good Democrats who actually vote not with party line and they break away from party line and they get expelled. They get basically ousted. So you'll see that happen in politics. And there's very few times that it happens because people know when they break from party lines, they commit political suicide. And you're going to see a house cleaning coming up in the midterms where, you know what? I'm willing to bet that there are going to be a lot of Republicans that get primaried out of their seats because they're not doing the job that the constituents basically voted them in to do. And that's where we have problems with politics. It's because, you know what? Most of the time, they're not doing what's best for their constituency. They just get in there and they get tenure and they continue to get elected and they don't do shit about it. They don't do anything that they promised that they were going to do. And thank God, you know what? Trump, you might not agree with him, but at least he's doing what he said he was going to do. He was voted in to do it. He's doing it.
So are you saying that they have to get behind Donald Trump? Because what if what's good for their constituency is anti-Trump? Should they do that?
No, I think that they should do what they were voted in to do. And we need to break away from a two-party system. Our country
So
is
what I'm
better
saying
than
is that
this.
if somebody's a Republican, but in their district going against Trump is actually good for their district, should they do that?
And then the other question is, why did they get voted in? If they're in a Republican district and they get voted in, if you look at the Republican values, they very much align with what Trump is doing.
Not in every district, though, Storm.
Well, you're
What I'm
right,
asking
not in
you
every
is,
district. And so if they do have to break party lines, that's on them. But the second thing is they need to find a way to unite a party because right now the Republican Party is fractured. And I think we would all agree that the Democrat Party is also fractured. So we're
Bro,
kind of at a hinge point and a turning point to say, is something else going to emerge? We've looked at the Freedom
but
Caucus. We've looked at,
but
all of these different parties that are trying to do something that might not be the typical norm because right now you have choice A or choice B, and neither choices are good.
the
isn't their first
Democratic
job
Party.
to their
You starting
constituents,
to sound like
not
Sweden.
to unite the party?
I'm sorry, go ahead. What was your question again? I didn't hear it.
Shit,
Isn't
me.
their job to their constituents first, not to unite the party?
Well, that's the thing. You're exactly right. And I agree with you on that. However, when you get in as a junior congressman or senator, you are required to take an oath and basically swear to the party, not your own constituency.
Oh, then that's not actually representing your
You're
constituency.
exactly right.
So basically, you're basically yielding to a higher power, right?
You're exactly
As far as
right.
to the
That's the
party
beauty of what we
leaders.
call the swamp, Carlos. That's where you and I can agree. And even though you're on one side and I'm on another, you can see it happen when you go to vote.
I'm not on either side. I think both sides are stupid.
Well, and here's the thing. Let me give you a great example of this. When the Dems voted against protecting women in women's sports, the Dems were unanimous at a 213 votes as a no. We don't want to protect women in sports.
That's
They voted
crazy.
party line, even though that doesn't work with their constituency. because they swore to the higher power, not to how they got elected. And that's the problem with our elections right now, and also our government and our politicians.
Hey,
Hey, that
Storm, did you
boy.
hear that the Dems are trying to impeach Trump again? The Dems are fucking demoralized. It's crazy, Storm.
Well, he's the only president to be impeached. The attempted impeachments are in record numbers. And here's the thing: when he keeps winning, they're going to just try more and more to impeach him, and they're going to try and find more and more to criticize. Because you know what? To me, if you look at Harris or if you look at Biden, it doesn't matter who they ran. Let's just say they won. Can anyone in here honestly agree that what Trump is doing in the Middle East right now, and with the trillions of dollars of assets that companies are going to bring back to the United States, there's not one Democrat president who could bring that like Trump did, because nobody can mimic what Trump does and nobody can emulate his success as a president.
That's a fact.
The Freedom Caucus is in 2 weeks. I'll be there. It's in Palm Springs.
That's an absolute fact. What the world, what America's going to have to deal with is all this stuff that Donald Trump is putting in place. Either A, try to dismantle it if you think you're 3 years from now, 3 years and 200 days from now, or figure out how to make whatever he's doing work. And that's what I see. It's got nothing to do with any other emotion about anything. There are systems that are geo across this planet, politics, is, and there's relationships being built. I was going to ask this question if I'd had a chance to earlier, was that who thinks that the Middle East is not safer now than any point in the last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Who thinks that not that with Iran right there? Who doesn't think that there's conversations right now with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, America now about how to handle, and then Syria? If you see that as a negative, I don't know. I don't know what lens you're looking through. If you like, you just want to
We
go to
see the
war,
bribes. We see the
huh?
bribes. $500 million plane. We see that bribe going around.
Okay, yeah, you can focus on that if you want to, but I'm talking about the fact that there's
So
conversations
what you
going
mean? I can
on.
focus on it want to. That's a
Yeah,
very big ass
that's
plane.
what I said. I
Very
meant what
big
I
ass
said.
bribe. Come
I
on
meant
now.
what I said.
Why didn't they bribe
And
Biden
I
with
was
it?
in the middle of my submission. I meant what I said. What do you mean? What do I mean? I meant exactly right. If you want to focus on that, that's fine. But I'm focusing on the fact that now there's conversations. There's something that's going to come out in the days and the weeks and the months to come about what actually is in motion. So I don't think it's all out there just yet, but there's some actual conversations bigger than a damn $1 billion, $400 million damn airplane. It's way bigger
So
than
what
that.
conversation did he have today that you like?
Bro, I'm not worried about. I'm not watching him
Wait a minute.
anymore
Wait a
like
minute.
that,
Wait a minute. You
bro.
did all that talking. You've been talking for over an
Yeah, you're
hour.
right, bro.
What conversation that did you
Tell
like?
me what conversations that you didn't like. You know all his conversations. You got the
No, you the
secret
one.
pass to
You,
listen in on the
you the one going
conversations.
crazy over the
What the hell are you
conversations.
saying, bro?
So what
You
conversations
want
do
me to
you like,
derail what
sweet?
I'm saying and say that stupid stuff? You want to derail what I'm saying and go over there and focus on
You did all that talking. Can
right?
you at least give me one conversation
What
that you
about
like?
Syria, bro? What about Syria? Since you want to talk about like you got some sense, like you got access to a conversation.
Oh,
Hey,
Jonathan, you're on mute.
Jonathan, your mic is hot, dude. I thought some woman was talking.
Okay,
Thanks. Go
well,
ahead.
so
We're talking
again,
about
you
I
want to
mean, in
sit
all
freakouts.
that
here and ask
dialogue, you
us
should have some meat for us.
you
Give us
want to
some meat.
ask these generic questions of what should be, and what are you saying, man? Oh, what conversations did he have today that you don't like? What are you saying, man? You know the
No, I said,
conversations.
what
You know what
conversations
me and
did he
you
have
talking
today that
about,
you liked?
bro. What are you talking about, man? Let's just focus on the fact of Syria. He's going to be meeting
So you just
tomorrow.
gave us a whole bunch of word salad. That's
I
what you're
didn't give
saying.
a bunch of words, Sally, bro. I know as much as you know, stupid. What are you talking about? I got a
You
different
don't know
type of
nothing. Like I don't know nothing.
what you got a special news feed. Tell us what you know about what he's getting
Carlos,
and
can
what you
I
don't
give you a
like.
conversation that I really liked?
No,
I
no,
love
no.
the
I'm
fact.
asking him. He been talking the whole
Well, I
time.
know. And
The
here's the
whole
thing: we
time
don't
you
know a
wouldn't
lot
even
of the
let me talk. What are you
conversations
talking
because
about, man?
we're also on a
You over
different
there
time
talking in
zone.
foreign content.
And if we do
Go
our
ahead.
research, we're going to hear about it 2 or 3 days afterwards. We're not going to hear it in real time in most
Oh, what
cases,
conversations
unless
did
he's
he
doing
hear
it for a
today?
living.
Then why is he in there
Okay.
clapping like that if you don't even know?
Because
What are
he's
you
a
talking
fan
about,
and because
stupid?
he sees the things that are going on with this president, he's making the right moves, and we're giving credit where credit is due. If
And
Biden were in
Carlos
office
has a
and he was
problem
making
doing
good
that for
moves,
some
guess
reason.
what? I'd give him full credit too. But we
So,
got to call it, man.
so
It
Storm,
is what
how
it
is it
is.
safer
It ain't no emotion. He's a
now?
man over there. We're talking to Syria now, and he's addressing that. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? If
let
you
me
want to
tell you,
find some
number one,
negative things.
Iran has talked about just dropping the nuclear program if they drop the sanctions. And from what I understand, we're in the preliminary talks of Iran not getting a nuclear weapon. That makes the Middle East much safer.
Who's
Second of
upset
all,
about that? Are
Jonathan,
you upset
what
about
we've
that,
done is
Carlos?
we've opened and
Are you mad about
established
that, Carlos?
communications. Hey, hang on, I'm talking. We've established an open communications with Syria, who is considered not an ally or a friend. So we can open communications to figure out if we can move forward in progress of not a destructive relationship, but a constructive. And also, we have a president for the first time ever to visit Qatar. And you know what? They might be classified as a terrorist organization or state or whatever it is or country. You know what? We're making the effort to building a bridge back that was clearly destroyed, and less communication typically means more conflict. So those three things alone tell me that the Middle East is moving more towards stability than it is chaos. Because if we didn't feel safe in the Middle East, we would not be sending our commander in chief over to the Middle East and be meeting with these world leaders.
And see,
What if it
anybody
doesn't
that's
work,
I mean, all
Storm?
commander in
What if
chiefs
it
have always
doesn't
been able to
work?
Hey, we
communicate.
didn't send
anybody
them
that's
over
I'm
there.
saying,
anybody that's unemotional can see that. The only one that can't
Uh,
see that is just somebody talking from some damn emotion.
you're the only one talking from emotion. You're getting all
you're the only
upset
one
about
yelling,
things.
yeah, he
Nah, I'm
worked
just
up
trying
and
to get the
everything.
damn
I
mic,
just asked
man.
a
You
simple
know,
question.
stupid stuff.
I thought you
Or,
had some
or
meat
what did you
for it.
have about a meeting? What did you like about what he said today? I would not like, bro. We're talking about the
Dude,
simple
you rambled for
simple
30
stuff.
mines, man, and you
What
had nothing
30
to give
minutes,
me.
bro? Jonathan's
Can
been
you
waiting
shut
on
up
me
the
the
entire
whole
time?
30 minutes.
Storm was talking. Storm.
I
So,
talked for 30 seconds and it feels
uh,
like 30 minutes to you.
Storm.
Go ahead,
Silly ass.
Jonathan.
My question is, and this is, I see what you're saying, but I also see an issue with, the United States has never negotiated with terrorists before, and Qatar is a terrorist state. I mean, we got to be careful. This could be not the best thing. It could destabilize the Middle East.
Did you
We got
just
to
Could.
say
look.
the United States never negotiated
And guess what?
with
Just to say
before?
this, Jonathan, so is Iran. Iran is considered a terrorist
I
state.
know.
Syria is considered a terrorist state. So if you look at Qatar, Iran, and I would even say borderline Saudi Arabia, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, they've got things
9/11.
they
Yeah.
can hold over our head. They obviously have the oil. They obviously have, some backing there. So if Trump's going to make a play for a grand slam and he meets with Qatar and he meets with Syria and he talks with Iran and actually drops the sanctions and they agree to no nuclear weapons and we can police that. And on top of that, we have a Saudi, a prince, the crown prince who meets this guy.
Mm.
There is a ton of respect for the United States right now in that region. And yes, you're right. It could destabilize. We could all say this is going to go to hell in a handbasket. But right now, we're closer to peace than we are to chaos and war. And I think that's what Trump has brought to the table. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to see it the way I see it or the way any other people see it. But the fact is, he's making the effort. And this is the first time we're starting to see progress over there in that region.
Who's about to go to war over
Absolutely.
there?
Absolutely. While the Democratic
Yeah,
Party talking
Pakistan and
about
India.
Biden.
That's another conflict, right? And we're quelling that. We're trying to
Well, they
figure
resolved
out,
that
hey,
amongst
how do
themselves.
we
I
dumb that
think.
down a little bit? Because you know what? We still have Israel and we still have Palestine. We still have China and Taiwan. We still have. You don't hear a whole lot about Ukraine and Russia these days, do you?
No, you heard
What
it
happened to all
today.
that? That
They
should be
refused to
escalating
go.
understanding, not de-escalating.
I thought
They
they said they was gonna have some peace talks.
no, they
Exactly, Natasha.
refused. They canceled the peace talks. They're canceled as
Well,
of today. The rest of
Trump can only
Ukraine
be
peace
in like
talks.
one place at one time. And you know what? He's made it to be in four places, in a matter of one trip. That's a guy who's a workhorse and he's working for the right reasons, in my opinion. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with it. But you know what? This is the first time I've seen a president go out and make that effort, reach out his hand and say, let's do something about this instead of just talk. I'm coming over to you. Notice they didn't come over to him. And that extends a huge amount of gratitude and respect in that culture.
So no American
Absolutely.
president has gone over to the Middle East and met with the Crown
That's
Prince.
crazy,
No,
man.
no American president has gone over when the crown prince greets him on the tarmac, and no American president has met in Qatar with world leaders over there.
And earlier, Jonathan said, "Don't shake his hand. You shouldn't shake their hand." Now, isn't there some wisdom that you guys might have heard that says, "Keep your enemies closer than actually your friends. Keep your friends close, but you might want to know what the hell they're talking about when you're talking about nuclear energy and war." But you know, maybe some people are too scared to even go over and have a conversation. Maybe he's got a little backbone to say, "What's up, y'all? How you doing? Let's talk about this." Y'all seem to be having
Well,
some problems
here's
over
the
there.
other thing. There was a lot of protocol
The
that was
art of
broken
war,
during this
Sun
trip.
Tzu.
And the protocol was broken on both sides. Do not shake hands with terrorist organizations. Number two, do not, as the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, send your underlings and send your lower ranking officials. Do not send them to meet a world leader. And he sent him and he went himself. That tells me a lot. That speaks volumes. You don't have to say anything. Even the other side of the news that doesn't like Trump couldn't spin that the wrong way.
Exactly.
But Russia and Saudi Arabia are in alignment, aren't they, Storm?
I have no idea. I don't
I'm
keep up with
pretty
politics.
sure.
I'm just a dumb white guy, everybody. And I just, I call it like I see it.
You
Guess
know,
I'll be the dumb black guy then, I guess. But yeah, I like to call it like I see it too, with no emotion. So, and see, when I think about all that excitement over Gaza and humanitarian aid, and obviously Israel, Biden, Trump wasn't in there. Obviously, that didn't produce no help of nothing. And so, what is that? So
Dude, if
and
you drinking a lot of coffee tonight,
I know that upsets you. And Storm doesn't do a lot of talking. Jonathan doesn't do a lot of talking. Cindy, maybe you just don't like the points I'm saying. I don't
no,
know.
you talk a
You're
lot.
not really making none.
I talk a lot.
Period.
I talk a lot in
You
this
speak
room
after everyone, every person.
after everyone. I don't even come in here that goddamn much. What are you talking
I
about?
always agree with chat, by the way.
That's smart.
Thank
Hey,
you,
she can
Andy.
offer you what I can't offer you. That's smart on your part, Andy. Shit. Absolutely. Shit.
But I'm sorry,
That
sweet.
means
Go
you're a
ahead,
straight
honey.
man. That means you're a straight man. That's a good thing. Shit. I feel kind of funny. You was excited to hear me talk over her.
I just needed a little comic relief in the moment.
It's
That's all.
all good. I love comedy,
But
man.
but but
Little
I
quick.
but I actually mean what I just said, though. I would
I
rather hear
believe
her
it.
than
I believe it, man. I believe it. That's
that's for
you a
sure.
normal
That's for
man.
sure.
I probably
That's
got
for
to
sure.
hear her talk over you. So that's a normal man. That's all good.
I could appreciate that as well.
Chat, let's talk about the Boeing deal. Some of you guys might have seen, we might have talked about this earlier when I wasn't in here. Boeing has just put an order in, Qatar has just put an order in for 210 777X aircraft, which is huge. We're talking about a $600 billion investment in an American made company that's based out of Seattle. And you know what? That does kind of explain if they wanted to gift a $400 million plane to Trump, because that total, I think, from what I understood, this might be preliminary, so don't get me wrong or right on this. They also ordered Dreamliners, which is the 787, which is one of the most sophisticated and probably the most sophisticated commercial aircraft. They also put an order in for there. It's totaling $1.2 trillion. Now, just think about this for a second. If you're an American and $1.2 trillion dollars on orders goes to a company like Boeing, that is going to boost every part of the economy in America, including fuel and energy, aviation, aluminum, any kind of precious metals and minerals. We're talking about like putting people back to work where Boeing was struggling. That is a huge injection and infusion into the American workforce. So you're going to notice unemployment take a very different trajectory if they have to fulfill that contract. They have to go after thousands of workers. They're going to have to build a new plant somewhere else, and it's all going to be made here in America. So, Chad, have we talked about that?
hey, listen, I flew over
At the
there.
top, a little bit.
May I say something, please? I flew over their factory this summer, and there were lines and lines of unused planes sitting on the runway. So there were so many planes unused connected to their factory in Washington, and I land.
Dr. Ho, where's that Freedom Caucus taking place at? So I can put it on my calendar.
Uh, Palm Springs.
Hey, Storm,
Thank
do you
you.
remember the list of the companies like Lockheed Martin? Wasn't there a long list of American companies that were already in that conversation, which you just talked about?
I don't know the list of the companies, but when you talk about aviation, sorry, I'm brushing my teeth. You're also talking about Collins Avionics. You're talking about different type of just everything that goes into a plane. There's probably 80 or 90 different companies that are contracted on one thing or another when it comes to fuselage, when it comes to electronics, when it comes to avionics, when it comes to everything. So you're going to find that that's going to make a huge jump and heartbeat, and not only the revenue, but also the prosperity of the country, because that is a huge investment. Think about it. If we have a $6 or $7 trillion GDP and one country puts in an order for $1.2 trillion, you're talking about a very large jump in that scale. So I don't know if you guys realize the impact of what just happened today and what got agreed upon and signed. Now, granted, that could go left, it could go right, it could go south, it might not ever materialize. But dude, to have that kind of, commitment from a country that we normally don't do that kind of business with, I think there's other countries that are going to follow suit, and you're going to see indirect positive impact from it.
Absolutely. That's what I was seeing today. That's what I was checking out, Carlos. I saw all of that. Absolutely. And I will say this about the conversation about I don't think Trump ever thought in 100 days or 200 days, we're just going to manufacture everything that China manufactures. I think he's got enough sense to realize that wasn't a part of the conversation of going for it. When you're negotiating, I will say this. You throw it out there like, look at here. You're going to see what the other side will go for. If you're scared to come to the table, you might say, well, let's just do 20%. What I'm saying is it's not hard to recognize the play of, you go hard on your side, see what the other side, if they don't flinch, then you have to keep talking. So that's what I think history is going to say is that, yeah, it scared the hell out of everybody and he pushed it as far as he can. One thing that dude will do, he's going to push the envelope to see what the Supreme Court is going to say, to see how much can it be to 145. He might have thought 195. I don't know. But it definitely got people's attention. They're like, okay, and let's just see what's real. And so, but now the people, the good thing about it, the American people, the stock market, all of that voted. It wasn't Democrat or Republican. It's a hey, 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 hey. It's Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot. Hey, man, look at here. We about to have some empty shelves here. You know what I'm saying? You might want to reconsider some of this stuff right here. I don't know what your game plan is, but so that happened. And now, so then they had the little meeting in Switzerland a couple days ago, Chinese dude and America's representative, Besant, whatever. And so, so conversations are being had. Both sides have strength. It's not everybody was saying from day one, which one's going to outlast the other. That calmer heads, cooler heads are going to prevail. And like, look, both sides are just shooting themselves in the foot to continue to stay in that stupid stuff. And China responded, and and it was like, all right, so they started talking, and we'll see how that plays out. But meanwhile, Middle East,
So let me jump in here a little bit. Hey Storm, this is LS.
I know. Hey,
Hey, so let me reverse engineer and play this back because I'm driving. So didn't Trump? So he was razzing Boeing about not having Air Force One built on time. I know that the CEO of Boeing went over there to Qatar. So did Qatar agree to this agreement to buy the Boeing planes?
they
Um,
announced the agreement today.
okay, so what most people can't see and it's hidden in plain sight. He was razzing up Boeing way before he took the plane or even went to Qatar, before they offered the plane. So in my mind, this is a way to get Qatar to play for Air Force One that Boeing, and this is certain hearsay, could not afford to pay to be up on schedule. I'm talking about before Qatar's money, because Boeing was saying we can't afford it. We won't be able to put it on time. So Trump gets what he really wants, which is interesting. He'll get a plane from Boeing, not Qatar, or Boeing will do the plane because of the, but it'll be the same plane because they were supposed to do an Air Force One, if I'm correct, and it wasn't going to be ready till 2027 or something like that, a long time away. And so it's off schedule. It's been off schedule. But then if you just do that That gift acceptance of a play, Qatar's going to offer me a plane. But if you look at game theory, he takes the CEO of Boeing to Qatar and they do a Qatar deal. Just watch the results. That's just an opinion.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing: they're not having to build one Air Force One; they're actually having to build three. And people keep thinking it's just one plane. It's not going to be ready until 2027. The whole Qatar 747 that they want to gift Trump is not going to be an Air Force One that's ready either, and it's pretty much useless if that's how they're going to spin it. It's going to be decommissioned and go to a library. So, in all reality, let's talk. What we really need to see realistically for this to work. Boeing needs to get their crap together. Boeing right now, I think, was struggling financially, and this is just something that I've just kind of lightly followed. And what I was realizing is, a lot of these planes crashing over the last 6 months, let's not forget that. Is the quality control for Boeing the way it needs to be? And I think that this big cash infusion that Qatar is going to bring in is going to allow them to bring up their quality assurance. It's going to allow them to get the right personnel and scale it up, and so, we understand that delivery for those planes are probably over a 15 to 20-year period. So, that is going to give Boeing a big boost to, I think, what was a struggling company. Now they have a positive outlook. And I still think the CEO of Boeing has a lot of explaining to do on how they're going to fulfill this contract. So I'm not at all purely optimistic, and being innocent about this and being blind and naive. I think that now, because we have the funding, now they can go to work and figure out how to engineer what they're going to deliver on and make sure that they can fulfill.
Wholeheartedly agree. And keep in mind,
Yeah,
keep in
but
mind.
the interesting thing is it's not American money.
Exactly right. That's
So it's
kind of
not
like Mexico
it's
paying for
not
the wall,
taxpayers'
unless you're
money.
exactly right.
That's game theory. That's
So look at
interesting.
the plane.
So let me ask you this. Would there be another president ever to be able to do something like that and pull that off?
I can't.
Or is it just a Trumpism?
I can't imagine it. I think it's a
No, wait a
Trumpism.
minute. Wait a minute. You didn't answer his question. So you didn't understand what he was saying. He's saying that this is basically a game played by Donald Trump to get the Qataris to pay for Air Force One.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well,
Oh
Yeah,
no!
you
I
just
said
finna
it a
clap for
different.
him and
I
then hear
said
his
it a different
question.
way. Hold on. I said it a different way. That's not what I said. What I said, I'm driving. What I said is, and Trump, I mean Storm, excuse me, laid it out really well. If you have a struggling American company, that company is Boeing. All right, they don't have the cash. You can't raise cash on the private equity market if you're struggling. This is Wall Street. So then you end up going bankrupt, closing plants, doing whatever. It's the only way you satisfy Wall Street, right? Public company. The other way is you somehow get money, debt, or equity. And you've got to be able to do that. Now, whatever this deal is, most likely it'll probably be equity. I'm not sure the structure of it. But they got a cash infusion, right? They've got a blood transfer at the last minute. This way, they can go out and build planes. The original order, if my understanding is correct, that Trump was complaining about was to Boeing for Air Force One, which wasn't delivered, that he ordered in his first term, and they're still late on it or trying to get it to him in this term, and he won't have it by this term, by the end of his term, so or the last year or something. So then all of a sudden, enter this Qatari saying, "We'll give you a plane." But I went past all that. You see he takes the CEO of Boeing over to Qatar, and then they come out with a deal, a cash infusion deal of close to $1 trillion or whatever. Okay, so it's the same thing that China did when they canceled Boeing Airlines. They rescinded that, but they canceled the order of Boeing Airlines when the tariffs went up, and then they rescinded it and said we'll allow more. But when companies have orders coming in, these POs, purchase orders, they can leverage that to be able to go out and build and do whatever is in their back order, so to speak, and quality control and everything else. That's what I'm saying. I hope
Well,
it's clear.
So
LS,
you saying
respectfully,
you saying the U.S. government didn't pay him?
well, no, hang on,
that's not
Ellis,
what he
because
said at all.
Trump threatened to cancel Air Force One if Boeing couldn't get their crap together. And the CEO had to respond because if they weren't going to deliver, Trump didn't care if it was Boeing, Airbus, any of those commercial aircraft. They could have gone with an A380 for Air Force One. or an A350, and that's actually a bigger plane. The A350 is not. But they're servicing out and phasing out. Airbus is servicing out the A340, which is a quad engine. It's a double engine wing or double yeah. So it's got two engines on each wing. So there was another route that Trump could have gone. And when he threatened Boeing and said, "Look, if you can't deliver this on time and on budget, we will go somewhere else." And Boeing shaped up real quick and said, "No, Mr. President, we'll get it done. We'll find a way to do it." And I think that when China canceled the contract, and I know this is boring for some people, I think Boeing said, "Holy crap, how are we going to do this? We need to find another cash infusion." And Qatar stepped up. And then
But
everybody
but
goes
but Storm,
absolutely nuts on this whole free 747.
but
So in
Storm,
all reality, the
I got.
$1.2 trillion infusion is paying for all of our Air Force Ones.
But Storm, I got to add something. Remember, Trump had a CEO conference at the White House where Jensen Wong was there, several CEOs. The CEO of Boeing was at that event as well. This is before Qatar. This is before this.
Yeah, they all know each other. By the way, this has
No,
been
no,
in
but they were
play.
at an event. This was about 3 weeks ago. They were
Yeah, but
at the White House talking about infusion and investment in America. So I'm thinking, like you said, when Trump said, I'll cancel, right, unless you step up. Maybe they had a real one-on-one talk, but he was in the White House. This was about maybe 2 weeks ago. This was before this trip, before it was even announced that he was going to the Middle East.
this was
He
probably
was,
a year ago in advance, though, LS. I mean, look,
yeah,
Trump
correct.
wants to make a deal, and the Boeing CEO wants to look good. So they were going to do whatever it took. This is a long time coming. This was not just a 2 week decision. It popped up in the news cycle, but Boeing's been struggling for a bit. And you'll notice they took a hit on PR. They had hearings, they were on the Hill, and the CEOs and the executives had to come actually explain why this was happening. And their quality was not where it was. You know, the safest plane in the world, I know this is crazy, a 737-700, which was built back in the early 2000s and the late 90s. And they've been in service for 20 and 30 years, and they were actually more reliable than the MAX 8 that were coming out just a mere 5 years ago. So now Boeing is having to re earn their reputation as being one of the best aircraft makers in the world. And so Trump recognized that. Airbus, if you ever look at the history, the 30 to 50-year history of Airbus and Boeing going head to head, Boeing was on the way out, and Airbus was going to be the predominant aircraft maker in the world where countries were going to go to buy aircraft. And Boeing was going to go out of business. And so the American government got involved and they started backing Airbus. And Boeing had to get innovative and they had to get creative against our own government. You can go look all this up. This was actually really fascinating.
Yeah, I think Airbus is out of France, right? Where are they based?
Yeah,
I know
Airbus
they're
is out of
European.
Europe. They're out of
Yeah,
France,
they're
and
definitely
they do a
Europe. Yeah,
very good
I lived
job at
in Vienna.
aircraft.
Yeah, and
So
I do. Yeah, I've lived in Europe, so I got that. I mean, I was shocked that they outbeat Boeing because they came out of nowhere. Yeah.
So let's get back to Trump and let's get back to Biden because apparently, aircraft, I mean, here's the thing. If Trump's going to make this deal, Trump deserves that aircraft. That's all I got to say.
He deserves the aircraft.
Yep, even though it's going to our country, Carlos, he still deserves it and he's not going to take it. You're
And
welcome.
you think they're gonna take this plane to some library and let it just sit there?
No, they're going to decommission it and they're going to put it in a hangar. It's not going into a library. It's not going into a physical space, Carlos. It's too big.
A hangar. Okay,
Yeah, so if they build the library, they're going to build a space outside for the. They have this at NASA. Have you never been to the Johnson Space Center?
absolutely. I've been in John Space several times.
Because you know I live 10 minutes away from that, and they have that 747 with the shuttle on top of it. Is it in the building or is it outside?
No, that shuttle on top is on the outside.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they're going to do with this plane is put it wherever the library is. They're going to put it out and build a hangar. Hello?
But Storm, where's the logic on? Oh, my mic. Hold on.
Yeah, your mic sucks. Nobody knows where the library is going to be. Nobody knows when it's going to be built. Because even the Obama library hasn't even been built yet.
Can you hear me now, Storm?
Yeah, your mic is trash.
Hey
I ain't
Storm, were
even
you
using no
here
mic, so
yesterday?
how the mic trash?
No.
That don't make sense.
The phone has a mic built
What?
into
Mic
it.
trash?
It's not good.
Yeah, your mic sucks.
All y'all
What were you
like
saying, Robbie?
talking
What
about
did we miss
tonight
yesterday? Give
and
us a recap.
nothing.
About Diddy, man. Everybody wants to talk about Diddy. So I don't know what's your take on Diddy.
Diddy's guilty as hell. I don't know if he's got Rico going. I don't think the prosecution is going to be able to convict him of the things that he's charged with. But he's a nasty human being. Put him away. I'm okay with it. There's my view. You're welcome.
Storm, why don't you think they're going to be able to prosecute it? What are you seeing in the first couple of days of the trial?
I'm not really following it, but from what I got out of this room yesterday, look, you have willing participants, and now you're going to pay a girl $30 million, and then she still wants more and wants to go after it. Look, what happened was despicable, but you're not going to be able to prove trafficking if you're going after abuse or if you're going after other charges, and you're not able to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. So there's a big difference between a in a criminal case. I don't have all the details, so I can't speak intelligently on it. I just think Diddy should go to prison. And you know what? Anybody who beats a woman, they all need to go to prison.
I appreciate that.
So
If
you
you
think
do decide to dip into a room, Ion has the best Diddy room between Clubhouse and Chatter. With that, I land.
No Diddy, in.
Ain't no promoting other rooms in this room.
We all know Ion to God. Hey, what's your take on this Diddy trial to God?
I think he gonna get off.
Well, he already got off at his parties. What do you think about his punishment?
I think he might get like 10 years.
So what's the logic? What's he going to get convicted of? How's that going to happen?
He might get a deal. He might end up with a deal, or he might get off.
So if they offered him the deal and he turns the deal down and wants to go to trial, you think they're going to offer him again?
Yeah, they can offer him again. They can stop this whole trial right now and offer him another deal.
But I think he already turned the plea down, didn't he?
I don't think
Yeah, but
his
you can
pride
always
would
get
let him.
another plea.
I don't think he would take a deal. I don't think his pride would allow it.
So let me ask you this, Cass, what's her name, Cassie or whatever? I was looking at something today, and she got married in 2019 and has two kids. I think Daphne brought this up last night in the room, and I actually started to think about this side of it. If you're her husband and you're her kids, and they start growing up and they can find this stuff, how the heck do you live with
It's
yourself?
rough. It's rough.
What's your take, Ann?
I've been watching the testimony closely for the past couple days, and it's too soon for me to call. It's far more damning than I expected it to be. So stay tuned.
Man, for a room that wanted to talk about Diddy, there's not a whole lot of people saying
I
anything.
Other people can jump in.
We've been talking about it
wanted
all day. You know what? You know what could
we
happen
were
with this
talking about it
Diddy?
earlier.
You know what could happen though? What could happen is he might get convicted, and then he get it overturned on appeal. That could happen too.
I hope he beat the charges. I want Diddy to win because look, everybody involved knew it. Oh, is that my mic? Everybody involved knew what they were doing. And they're just trying to pin it. They always do that. They find that one person, pin it on them, and mind you, the whole industry is moving the same way. Nothing is changing. They'll just replace Diddy with somebody else, and that's all. Um, I mean, Cassie was down with a lot of stuff. Um, you know, I don't play the, I don't do the victim thing. Where you know women get beat and now they're the victim. Look, they be part of that shit. So you know,
You know what's crazy about this though? Almost every room, or at least on social audio I've been in there, people are trying to turn over, not everyone, but people are trying to make Cassie into the victim. We visually saw a glimpse of their relationship on TV. As a man, if that's not enough, something's like literally wrong with you for a man dragging a woman down a hallway, regardless of whatever it is. So I'm still trying to process that.
But that's not what he's on
He
trial
can
for.
process it.
Thank
It,
you.
it,
Right.
it don't it
Y'all
don't
have
Thank
to.
you.
matter.
He's
It don't
So
not
matter. It
on
much.
don't it don't
trial
matter
for
what he's.
this.
Thank you.
We understand what he's on trial for. But what I'm saying is that's a glimpse of what happened in that relationship, right? Then she gets on stand. This is what she's talking about. She has participated, yes, but Eddie. I'm sorry.
Keep going, Jay.
No, Danny, we know your stance. We know your stance. So
Not everybody.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
want.
say it after because not
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
that was in
we
the
know
room
you.
earlier. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say it.
we know
Go
your
ahead.
stance. But what I'm saying is, even if you go further down the line and turning Diddy into a, or turning Cassie or Diddy into a victim, that shit is mind blowing to me.
We are not the people that you're speaking about. We were not saying that Cassie isn't a victim and only creating a idea that Diddy is only a victim. We're saying there's more to the story. Like you just said, we only saw a glimpse of their relationship. But Cassie testifying, saying she initiated fights. Obviously, there's more to the story. Obviously, she may have more at fault than what has been led on prior to this trial. We're only asking people to not make it seem like Cassie is a complete victim. Obviously, she is a victim, but she had some parts in it. If you're initiating fights, it hasn't been said if these are only verbal, if they're physical, but especially if they are physical, that's a problem.
Can you bring up
She
my
is
friend
completely at
Jeremy
fault.
Fragrance, please?
Yeah.
My friend
Apologize,
Jeremy.
y'all. I had to reboot my phone.
Can you bring up Jeremy Fragrance?
Do y'all hear any feedback on the
Maybe we
call?
can get rid of Clubhouse for the night.
No, Clubhouse is essential. I have a
Yeah,
lot to say
there's
on
some
this matter.
serious. Hold on,
I'm an
hold on,
honest
hold on,
Jew.
hold on, hold on, please. Um, JB, Jonathan, can you hear me?
I
Dude,
can hear you,
Clubhouse is
real.
just all trash
We
right
hear
now.
No,
you. Yeah.
I know, but there's something going on with the reverb between here and Clubhouse, and there are people on Clubhouse that do want to speak.
Yeah, we're getting a little
Okay,
reverb too.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Thanks,
Thank
JB.
you, JB.
Is it safe to say that Diddy is a bad block?
Honest, hold on just a second until we get this figured out, please.
Hey, yeah, you
Throw him
kind
off
of
the
sound like you've
stage.
been smoking for 80 years. That's how it sounds on the mic.
No, he's trying to get into some racial stuff, y'all. You got to throw him off the stage.
You think Diddy's a good block?
Thank you, Carlos.
I could not with Carlos, yo.
No, did you hear what
My
he said?
my my thing is where are these other witnesses at? If where are these other people at? We just keep hearing from Cassie. Where the other people at?
Did I hear one of them is like they can't be found?
Well, one of them
Uh,
is missing,
Yeah, one
but
of them is missing.
you
but
know,
where are the other people at? Where are these witnesses at?
well, I
Where?
assume they're going to be testifying next. This trial is supposed to take place over at least a month.
Okay, so we're gonna talk to the lady who already got paid, right?
What
We're
does
just
that
gonna
mean?
keep. I
Right. I
mean,
said Diddy should get his money back.
Yeah, he
yeah,
should.
she already got paid.
Nah, he can
We
still
shouldn't
get
even
it
be
back.
talking to
Hang on, if he
Cassie.
did Cash App, he might be able to charge it back.
He
Nah, he
should.
might
He
be able
should
Storm,
to
at
get
this
some of the
Storm.
point.
money back.
Come on now, man. God dang.
You
He
never
should,
know
because if
these
he's trying to
days.
buy her silence and she spoke anyway, the
Yeah,
fuck, get
yeah, we
your
shouldn't even
money
be
back.
talking to Cassie. You already got paid. We need to move past you. We need to talk to these other people that can identify what he did to them. I want to talk to them people
So
because
Have you
it's
listened to
day
any
three.
parts of the trial?
I want to talk. I want to hear from the witnesses. I don't want to
Cass,
keep reading and all the
Cassie,
speculating.
Well, you're
Cassie's
gonna keep.
introduced a lot of information I've never seen, read, or heard before. It's very compelling.
It's only day three, man. They got to paint the picture. Just relax.
Exactly.
Just relax. You'll be all right. It's
But you
coming.
already got Jay. You already got your picture painted.
I sure do.
Okay,
I
so
sure
so
Whoa.
do.
how you gonna
I
how you
sure
gonna be a
listen,
hypocrite
listen,
like
listen.
that?
Because before, like I said before, this is not just a one-time thing. This is all the shit, all the karma. This is what's coming up. That's why I got my my picture painted already. Now I'm just saying this. Listen, karma comes back to you in many ways,
But
and
Jay,
I'm just
where
gonna
these
leave.
people at, Jay? Where these
I'm
people
sorry,
at, Jay?
but man, I don't know what you're even saying. Though I'm talking.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just saying karma comes back in many different ways, right? Regardless of other way you look at this thing, I'm putting this out there. Say if Cassie going on Cassie's goal, or the whole purpose was to Cassie to go on here to derail this whole thing. I don't know, right? I'm just putting different scenarios out there. Well, regardless of shit that has happened, Diddy's fucked. I ain't gonna lie to you, Diddy is fucked. And he should be locked up. Period.
How much time? How much time you think he
Ain't
should
make
get?
an ounce of sense just now.
How much time you think he should get?
I don't know. I can tell you, the truth, I don't care how much time he get, but he's fucked.
Let's go with
Yeah, I keep
7 to 10
saying. See,
years.
I keep
What? So
saying
you'll be
that.
happy if he only gets 1 year?
He's not gonna get 1 year.
Let's
I think
give him
he's gonna get
seven
more
to
than that.
ten,
He's
Give
gonna
a
Jay.
he's gonna
number.
he's gonna at
Give a
least be an adult.
number.
Suge Knight said that Trump's gonna pardon him. Did you guys hear that? I'm being serious.
That would be crazy.
That's what Suge Knight said.
He
Suge
gonna
Knight.
pardon Suge Knight or he gonna pardon Diddy?
Nah, that,
I did
that
hear that,
Trump's gonna.
Diamond.
You guys didn't hear what Suge Knight said. Suge Knight
No,
said
based on
that.
what? Why is he saying that? Based on
Oh,
what?
he said that the government owes Diddy some favors.
Like he's an informant, that kind of thing?
The man, I don't ask Suge Knight questions. Suge Knight just speaks.
Why not,
Come on,
Diana? I thought
Diana.
y'all were
What
tight.
Did hear
up,
that.
Storm?
She said, I'm
Ask
reporting. I do
ask for
not
the
know
tea
nothing
next
Uh,
I don't
else.
time.
know.
uh,
I
uh,
don't know.
uh,
Diana might be on to something now.
He
Hey, you
said
need
that
to
Hey,
he's
change
gonna
the
get
title in here,
pardoned.
big man,
It's
to
a
After Dark.
complicated
No,
case.
but Diamond
It's
was
very
right. I heard that
complicated.
as well. And I also heard that his adopted daughter, the one that's supposedly missing, quote unquote, she's supposed to testify.
Chance, that daughter?
Talking about
The,
the little white
the
girl.
little white
White
girl.
girl.
No, Chance is his real daughter.
Which daughter?
The adopted,
He has a
like
white
the
daughter?
the new the new
Listen to what
baby,
Suge Knight said.
the new
adopted
baby.
daughter.
Shig said, I think he got
She's a
some
little
favors
white
with the
girl.
government. I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he had nothing to worry about. And he told this on the what is that? Kumo show? I don't know who that guy is.
Chris Kuma?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh,
Cuomo.
wow.
Homo. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Cuomo. Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, you might have to play. You might have to play that clip.
Right. I want to see
there could
that.
be.
I
Crazy
ain't gonna
to
lie.
God.
Hey, I ain't gonna
Oh,
lie. I want to
boy.
hear that too, cause that make a lot of sense. Cause if he got all this information and he's supposed to be this high profile dude, cause that was my first question. I'm like, how y'all let him get caught? Out of all people, if he got all this stuff on everybody, and they got the video evidence, clearly they seen the videos of who was there. Why would you let him get locked up? That don't even make sense. All I'm saying, 30 years in the industry, and the shit finally got to him.
Yo, you keep saying that. Like, what the shit? What's the shit?
Yo,
Right.
if you pay attention to the industry, like there's a lot of people, even in the room earlier, people who have worked with him, they know what type of monster this dude is. Y'all
Yeah,
thinking he a saint because
and
he,
people
I've worked with him, and I don't think he's a monster
I
either.
work with him
like
too. So you,
okay.
a lot of people, a lot of people are speaking up.
Yeah, but you know what? Especially in Los Angeles, I'm sorry, we're not down with other women who bring other girls into the hot mess that they're in. Respectfully, I don't give a
I just got
damn.
to ask this, Diana, to
the
the
only
room. For
thing we
those,
all really waiting to hear
hang
is
on. For those who have worked with Diddy, did you ever go to a freak off?
no. The
No.
only thing we really waiting to hear is, is there any underage people involved, and is there any? Can they prove that he drugged people? That's it. Everything else, sex parties, freak offs, and all that shit. That's stupid. It's stupid that we even doing that.
Right. That's not illegal.
Like, when did it make sense where it's legal to film porn, pay people to be in pornography, but it's illegal to fly them from one state to another? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
We have to arrest 75% of the celebrities and rich people in Los Angeles if that was the
Exactly,
case.
because now it's illegal to fly somebody out. That's
I'm about to,
crazy.
that's what I said. I get flew
That
out. I
that's
was like,
sex
where's the
trafficking now
luggage
because you flew.
laws?
Yeah, you sex trafficking because you flew somebody out now. That's crazy work.
You can make a porn and sell it for $49.95. Pay everybody in it.
But it's sex trafficking all of a sudden now when you want to fly somebody. What the fuck is what we
Yeah,
doing?
it's listen, it's only sex trafficking to us because we're just learning the true meaning of it being done repeatedly, bro. With quote unquote sex workers. And then we all have this notion that sex workers are illegal for whatever reason. I don't know where people get this notion that prostitution and sex workers is legal and shit. Like, when do we start really thinking that, like, as regular people, all this shit is illegal, bro? Like, all
In
of it.
certain areas
What
in
constitutes
the state of Nevada, it's
what
legal.
constitute what
I'm in the
constitutes
state of
a
Nevada,
sex
right?
worker
And it's
for
only,
America?
and listen,
Certain counties are
it's
illegal in
only,
the
and
state.
it's only legal in certain counties. You're correct.
Yes,
So what I'm saying
yes.
is, other than that, right? It's illegal. Period in the story. It's just funny that even me, so I'm guilty, right? So I can agree with you guys. I'm like, damn, flying some coochie out is illegal now. Like, you getting locked up for that now. Like, a lot of people tripped off that, but when you don't know, you just don't know, bro. So now that we know, you know what they say, now you know you do better type shit, right? But it's nothing to be like a wowzer just because we didn't know. But now that we know, we can't erase the fact that that's just how it goes.
Where's Young Miami? Where's Young Miami? Where's Young Miami? Why she not at the trial?
She partying. She said that wasn't her experience, so she's keeping it moving. That's what she said. That was not her
Nah,
experience.
Yeah,
yeah,
she said that. Yeah, she
she
did.
fine with the money she got paid off. She ain't saying nothing.
Damn, she can't even get no support to the man. She was out there with big billboards supporting this man.
Mm-mm. She be under his daughter's pages.
Oh yeah?
Mm-mm. Yeah, pay attention. She
Weird
be under there,
behavior.
but she living her best life.
All right, do you guys want to hear this Suge Knight? It's a 2 minute 45 second clip.
Hell
Well, it's
yeah,
a
we want to
video.
hear that
All
shit.
right,
Breaking news.
it's the
Absolutely.
video. So if you guys don't see it, you have to drop down to see it, and we'll bring you back up. But you guys should see the faces of the people who are interviewing him. It's freaking hilarious, and he's on the recording, but their faces are classic. All right, hold on.
Thanks, Diana.
I don't think Cassie is in a situation where she has to lie. I don't think she's in a situation where she got to be worried anymore. I think she's in a great place with another baby on the way, and I still feel that Puffy's gonna be all right and have a fair shot at it because Puffy he's not a dummy, and I'm quite sure somebody's gonna talk to those jurors and convince one or two of them, and that's all they need is one. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be a real exciting situation, but I think he's gonna be all right.
Suge, do you think he's going to be all right because someone's going to tamper with the jury? Is that what you're trying to say?
He got enough influence, and I'm quite sure. Don't seem like the prosecution is that bad against him. Don't seem like I think he got some favors with the government. I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he get convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So what's the worry?
You think the president of the United States would pardon Sean Combs for sex trafficking?
Shit, he pardoned Michael Harris, who allegedly killed a Jewish teenager or had him killed. So they don't care about that. It's all about, what's in it for the long run and what the bucks say and what the power of the people want.
Suge, I got to tell you,
Trump's not scared.
I can't argue with your eyes on the situation because you lived it and you understand the dynamics. And I appreciate you going through all the hoops to call us and weigh in on this. If you're mentioned again or there's something that seems to be in dispute that you would understand, I hope you're okay if we try to come back to you for your perspective.
You always come back, man. You got a great employee. She's a great person. You're a great person. I support you guys. And I got great people in my life. And, hey, God's the best. Thanks again. Thanks for having me. If the Menendez brothers can get out, Suge Knight should be out first. But I got to get Jericho. No, I got attorneys.
All right, Suge.
Bye.
I appreciate you, and thank you very much for calling in. Take care. I'll tell Dusty you said hello.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Hey yo,
Damn,
no,
why Shook?
Diana.
Shook
Hey
sounded like the
Diana,
good guy
that
right now.
was hey Diana, that was dope, right? But out of all that shit he said, he does have one valid point that all it does take is one to flop, bro. That's probably the only
I mean,
dope shit
but
that
the
he said.
balls on this guy to come out and fucking say that on national television. I'm
Yeah,
telling
that
you,
was
this
balls to
game,
say that.
this
How's that
game,
balls? He in prison. He ain't got nothing to lose.
the God, this game is different. It's different. And I'm telling you, I'm more shocked at the shit that's coming out from Cassie. Like, you don't, this has gotten gross and sick, and it's just, it's crazy. Like, you can't deal with this kind of stuff. It's their own fucking world. And it's nuts to me. I listened last night at how many people were defending her, and I'm sorry, you guys, but there's a lot of women who are saying that they were also brought into this ring of nasty shit. And 11 years is a really long time to put up with stuff like that. I'm sorry. At some point, you have to say, fuck it, it's wrong, I'm not going to do it, and let's go do whatever you're going to do, and I'm going to fight till the death, but I'm not going to be prostituting hell no other people, other girls, and drugging them. That shit's wrong. That's disgusting. Both of them deserve what they're getting right now, and I wouldn't put it past the system to let Diddy go, because I do think that there are people involved that will never want to have this come out, that they've been involved in this kind of nasty shit. It happens all the time in Los Angeles.
I think Trump will let Diddy go. You don't think Trump will let Diddy go?
Hell no.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't either.
No, it's bad for
What?
optics.
What? Hold up, hold up. What was Trump? What was Trump found liable for?
Well, not baby oil.
Hold on, who said
What?
bad for optics though? Come on now, you think he care about optics with this?
Yeah,
If
You.
Diddy
hold up.
got the
Whoa,
bag to
whoa.
pay for his way out, Trump will let him go.
It
Nah.
depends. It depends. It depends on the type of relationships of the people that's involved in this case. You know, if they connected in some way to Trump or the people he know, we don't know. You know what I mean? Like I said, where are all these witnesses at? Where these people at? Like that's my whole thing. Where these other people at, man?
Well, from what I'm hearing, you don't have to have a discovery in the Fed case, so we don't know what they're gonna come out with. They just got an open bag. They can just come out with whatever they want to come out with.
What matters is if they pull Farnsworth
Work
business in the
business in the
stand.
stand.
That's when the
That's when the
things will
things will
change.
change.
Is sponsor
It's
part of this
fine.
case? Oh,
Case.
somebody got an
Oh,
echo.
I got it.
Oh wow, I forgot about Farnsworth.
I felt like Cassie was doing nothing but self-incriminating herself and her so-called giving up her testimony. It's just like incrimination to
It's
me.
just like, really?
I agree with that, Quentin. Can you expound on that a little bit?
It's an echo on this for some reason. I don't. Hold on, give me a second.
There,
Yeah,
there is.
you sound like Darth Vader right now.
Yeah, JB tried to fix it, but I don't know. Just do your best.
Well, I'm just as far as if y'all been keeping up past 2 days, I think she even spoke today. I don't know what it was what was said fully, but all the things she was doing for him and uh all the guys he was sleeping with. I mean, everything really falls into her hands. And like they showed that, well, up until now they haven't showed it. Diddy on no phone calls or anything. The male escort that said about the whole pin on her and stuff. She brought that man to the house and paid him. He was thinking about 200, and she gave him 4 bands and started doing all these extra stuff. So if anybody listened to it, I'm sure y'all have. It just there she played the role because you can't have a Rico by yourself. So she was the one that was putting people together, making things happen, and that's it, really.
I mean, what's the difference between her and the Maxine? What was her name? Maxine lady with Epstein. I mean,
Exactly.
they have similar case. right?
Yeah, exactly. It's about
She's in
I don't
prison.
know if Maxine Lay was sleeping with all of them, but other than that, yeah, you're right. I can agree with that.
Oh no, I said this earlier. I said if Diddy goes down, Cassie need to go down right with him. And I stand behind that until some other evidence proves otherwise, but I doubt it will.
I mean, I said it yesterday in the chat. I think both of the attorneys are a bunch of dodos. Like, who lets their clients go through this kind of shit like this? You know, both of them, in my opinion, look horrible, absolutely horrible. And, you know, it makes you wonder, like, these freaking attorneys sometimes, I'm sorry, but there's got to be a better way to handle this kind of crap.
Are you talking about the prosecution or the defense?
I'm talking about both, Carlos. I'm talking, can you imagine if Diddy gets no jail time and all of this has been dragged like this? It just sets such a defeat because both of them are guilty. I'm sorry, both of them are. Both of them are. And I don't know, it's just it's a sad way to kind of have so much back and forth between ourselves. Like I remember when this case first came up and we were going at it because it became a, oh, you should have women's back. And it's crazy to come to find out that this lady was managing all these girls and doing all these things for 11 plus years. And some of the shit that they were saying that she said, it, mm-mm, nope. This should have come up in the very, very beginning. The fact that it didn't come out until now, it's weird. I think it's a really weird case. I don't know. I would hate to think that somebody thinks it's a publicity. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense for all of this to be coming out the way that it is. She looks guilty as hell.
I didn't hear about the managing girls part. Could you break that down a little bit though? Because I didn't hear
So
about that part.
what I heard was that she had girls that were also coming to these parties,
Both
and she,
genders. Both
huh?
genders. They're
Both
she man
genders.
both genders.
And she's saying well, they'll both those men and women coming. That's what she's saying.
She hired escorts of both genders.
So that's what I mean by the managing, because she almost was presented like a madam. Like she was the one that was paying them. She was the one that was bringing them. She was the one that was escorting them. Is that correct?
No, who
That's
gave her the
correct.
money and
No, that is
who
correct.
gave her the money and who told her to hire them?
Well,
Well, tomato, tomato. I mean,
yeah, I mean, you're right, real. I mean, Diddy did, but what she said in testimony today is she did it to please him, to make him happy, so he'd beat
Right.
her less. Very common. Well, I'm not even going to go there.
Right. That is what she said. And if one does not understand that position and has never been in that position, mm-mm-mm.
It's
That's all
hard
I
to
got to
explain.
say.
Let's not do
Listen,
that.
I understand. I understand being in a position, right, where you're compelled to do things, right, sexually or otherwise, right. But to also procure other people to be part of it, I think that's taking it to another level.
To
bingo.
God, it's so messed up. I mean, honestly, I was reading a timeline of her history today, and she talked about the very first time he ever hit her. You know, frankly, many, I don't care, men or women, many people would have walked at that point. We wouldn't be in this today, but she didn't for whatever reason.
Part
And
of part of those
she'll never be the
details
same.
was that she was at a dinner and it came up about some other girls he was flirting with,
Yep.
and that's what we heard so far. You can use your imagination about you know the- how that conversation went,
And
and then
then he hit her in the face when they got in the car,
they got
remember?
in the car, and then they were obviously still upset, and they went. Absolutely, she's mentioned just to balance out some of the testimony for those that aren't following it. She did say that she at times instigated some of these fights. She mentioned that she said that she never saw any bruises on him the next day, but obviously it's much darker complexion. Um, that to me, she was saying, yeah, I've hit him sometimes, but I didn't see any bruises on him. It's not. It's just these are just some of the facts. And she did mention that She enjoyed the times of the freak offs because that was her time to be with him. That was her intimate time with him. So these are just the balancing of all of it. No judgment, just some of the testimony that she said.
The more
Hey,
I hear about this story, the more it sounds like I said earlier, it sounds like the whole Chris Brown and Rihanna situation. Again, Rihanna was mad. He thought he was texting another girl in a car. She hitting on him. But again, even in that story, again, like Rihanna got to play victim, and crying Oprah, and it's just like we can't go through that again with this case. 'Cause we can't not hold women accountable for their parts in a violent outcome if you initiated that violence.
all right. Hey,
So for me, what'd
no,
you
go
say?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like I know, yes, a man should never put their hand on a woman. Absolutely hear you. But it should never be excused that a woman can just put their hand on a man because what, they're smaller than the man. Like, no, they should be held just as accountable as if a man puts his hands on a woman. A double standard is crazy to me, and I said that in Two's room. Like, this is crazy. Again, we're not saying that Diddy's a victim, but he's not. But Cassie isn't is more responsible. It is more responsible than I think she's leading on, or what it initially seemed like. Is all we're saying.
Right. Hey, I
He
heard.
created. He created that.
I heard that Rihanna told Chris Brown he can't dance and he had to put a bap in the mouth. I'm just kidding. But I mean, at the end of the day, Cassie. It's not like Cassie hasn't gotten what she wanted, which is $30 million. Like, she her whole thing should be over right now. Why are you still out here crying wolf when you already got your justice? You got 30 million. Ain't like she's out here still fighting for justice. Your justice was $30 million. That was what, a year ago. That's all that happened. You back out here telling your secret stories and got your husband looking crazy as hell. They said that man had to leave once that black escort started talking about all these black men he was getting pounded by. And your kids is in here. So I don't know, man. I just think it's some of this stuff is gonna come back and bite her in the ass because she should really be a co-conspirator and not a damn victim. But that's just my opinion.
Did anybody hear Anya talk today about Burning Man and how they thought she was going to be sacrificed at Burning Man in 2019? And there was a death in 2019, but he's accounted. I do a lot on violence against women, and I don't think it's a coincidence that this is happening. While Joe Biden's getting fried, because great leader in the United States Senate around
Dr. Hope, you're
violence
trying to
and
be serious right now,
I'll
Dr.
come
Hope.
in a second. What?
This woman, every time
Let
she
me.
speaks, I never know what she's talking about.
Well, wait. I just finished
Ever. I'm
this.
like,
I
what?
Let
love
me
you, Doc.
finish
I just
this.
asked him to
What?
check what is Burning Man, but I'm gonna keep minding my
Oh,
business. Go
Burning Man
ahead.
is an event. It's a Hollywood celebrity event. Um, Joe Biden really led around the issues of violence against women in the 90s. He was the great leader in the United States Senate to protect women from abuse and violence. But, this really is, there's a couple of felonies for kidnapping, and there's two sex trafficking felonies. Does anybody know about the actual felonies in our land? And Burning Man is an event that happens in California every year.
Who got the
Nevada.
felonies?
I land.
Burning Man's in Nevada.
Anyway, so let me stop.
Yeah,
I
P.
tried to
Diddy
save
wanted
y'all.
her to go to Burning Man
Why
with
do
him.
people
Listen.
So
why do you
when
change
you
the topic like that?
when you go to jail, right? When you go to jail, right? They say you paying your debt to society, right? So or you paying your debt to the victim too, right? Because you got to make the victim whole. So sometimes you got to pay restitution. He paid Cassie 30 million,
Facts.
right? So what is his debt right now? What is his debt to society? What do you guys feel would be a sufficient punishment for Sean Combs right now?
G-Cot.
What?
Huh?
He's up on two
G-Cot. Over
felonies.
there in El
He's got,
Salvador, whatever it is.
oh God,
We
Bart.
haven't heard all the testimony. Can't answer that to God. We have to hear everything.
The
I'm
So from what you heard so far, what you heard so
asking.
far, and what's been pushed right now, what can you say for right now? Let's just
time
give a
served.
preliminary.
I've
Time
not
served.
reached a conclusion. I don't have enough data.
I mean, Barth is trying to send his ass over to El Salvador. Why you want to send him over there, Barth?
I
They
don't
don't
even know
offer
what Bart's talking about. What
because
the
of
hell is
what
a
he has
decoy?
done to for child trafficking to all these women. I'm absolutely
Allegedly.
shocked.
Allegedly.
Where did you get
Allegedly.
where did you get child trafficking from?
Exactly. That's
Where
why
did
I
that
said.
from?
Common
That's
Puff
why I hit him
sense.
with
Daddy
the
has two
allegedly.
defense lawyers right here. Let's go, Barth.
Common sense. Tunnels. Baby oil.
What?
How
What?
many countless victims like Justin Bieber
What?
and
What are you
like I
talking
said, in
about?
North
Why are you
Carolina.
just bringing up stuff, random things?
He just want
He
to see
just
a
making
black
up
man
stuff.
get
Those
Ain't
are
nothing, he
killed.
ain't been
They
doing
didn't
none
random.
of that.
say. They
Aren't
didn't
those
say
the
tunnels
homeowners?
and theaters. What?
Making up stuff. Like what the hell going on? He
Are
said
we?
tunnels.
Are we watching the
You
same
haven't heard
case?
about the tunnels?
Are we?
No,
What
the
Wait,
tunnels?
listen.
tunnels.
Are we talking about the stuff that's in the case and stuff that's going on? Like, let's stay on that. Not no off the whatever you're talking about.
Quentin, do you know
Yeah.
about the
Not your
tunnels?
personal. Don't speak on your personal desires. Let's talk about the facts.
Not personal
He
desires.
wants to.
That's
He wants to
wild.
see
It's
him go to
this,
El Salvador.
Does anybody have any actual transcript right now from what was testified today?
yeah, that's why I want to hear what actually happened today in testimony. Cause I think Cassie spoke again today.
Yeah,
he's
She
got
did.
two
I read it and I
felonies, I'm
didn't keep
pretty
the
sure.
transcript.
God,
Either two or
I
four
put several
felonies.
links in the chat today.
Hold
It's
on, who
something in
has
there right now.
two felonies?
Earlier I did. I
Diddy,
Oh,
think
you
you
said
did.
earlier.
Yeah.
you,
Nobody's prepared today, right now, to have anything with the with what was said
I
today.
did that all today.
We
I
did
was
that
about to say,
all
the guy,
today to
weren't you
God.
in the room with two
We've
earlier?
repeated it 1,000 times today.
Hmm.
Come on to God. You
I
can do
paste
it.
and
The God
copy,
Well,
plan
paste
I'll
and
crazy.
read the
copy them
thing
all
over.
day
There's new
long.
people.
Dumb
There's
right
new
now.
people in the room. Everybody not diehard junkies like you guys.
Well, we are
We trying to
tagged.
deliver some information.
We
Well,
are
they can do their
tagged.
own research.
Well, what's the guy's name that does the he recaps literally everything on Twitter. It's something about I forgot. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the white guy. He literally says word for word what's being said in court.
So Mario,
No, it's a no, it's not Mario. Lord, no, it's not Mario. Uh, God damn it! I just let me find him. 'Cause I just literally followed him like yesterday or something. And he's not even. He shouldn't be this hard to follow or find. I take that back. How do you find the people you just started following? Okay, Inner City Press. That's what I'm talking about. Matthew Russell. That's if y'all ain't following his page on Twitter. He literally does. He goes to the court and he literally writes down on Twitter word for word what Cassie says, or any not just for this situation, but any court case that's going on that's going big in New York. He literally writes down what the witnesses and people are saying word for word.
I put in the chat a CNN link of everything that was said and exposed in the courtroom today. I'll put it again.
did they pay people for the freak offs? Did they pay everyone to be there for the freak offs? I think he was charged with prostitution and interstate travel. Does anybody know if they got paid? The people who went to the freak
Cassie
offs?
was paying
Well,
everybody. He paid
yeah,
the male escorts and anybody else that came to the parties.
Yeah, that's kind of illegal there. That's not legal.
Well, it's Cassie that's paying for it, so it's don't be if you on her side, don't be quick to do that because you looking down on her, not him. She's the one who had a bag and was
She
scared.
wasn't the only. That was his money, and she didn't pay for it every time.
Okay, I'm just going. Listen, I'm just going by what's been said in the trial for the first 2 days. I haven't read the third day today.
Yeah,
From today.
I heard the whole thing. We've been going over and over this.
Right.
She
So that's
did
what I'm
not
saying.
do
I'm
it
just
every
keeping it to
time.
what's being said already, not what you anybody's opinion or what's the word on the
Right.
street.
Right. We are too. We've been in here
Go
for
over
two
on
days.
Clubhouse and put the link on the chat, Quentin.
No, I got it. I found a man's page I was already looking for. His name is Inner City Press. I told y'all his name is
Oh,
Matthew Russell, Inner City Press on Twitter. He literally does everything written down word for word and has links and all of that.
Yeah, I'm watching a girl and she's following him. I'm watching a girl on YouTube and she's showing what she's
Mhm.
got like
He
four
he
different sources and he's one of them, the
he yeah,
Twitter guy.
he's one of the go to people that even the media allows him to come in here and do what he does. Like he's not just anybody. That's why
What's the
I don't.
jury like?
Right, right.
All
What?
right, so we
Who's
got
sitting on the
CNN. We got
jury?
CNN right
I
here, right?
think
CNN says
I think the jury's.
what happened? Who's
I
talking?
spoke over you. I was apologizing.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Ladies first. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. You were.
All right, so look, we got CNN, right? CNN. That's what you put in the chat. CNN live news. They breaking down the trial. They got bullet points here. Um, It says Ventura details violent and controlling relationship with Combs. Here's a recap of her second day of testimony. During her testimony today, Cassie Ventura revealed in detail numerous times how her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs became physically violent. At one point, Ventura broke down in tears as she talked about going to rehab and trauma therapy in February 2023. She said she was having flashbacks during a shooting for a music video with another artist. She also said she was suicidal. Here's details of Ventura testimony during her direct examination today. Details of a violent relationship. Ventura testified that the first instance of violence with Combs left her shocked and further described multiple violent encounters with him, including being beaten after a party at a Los Angeles club. Combs security chasing her when she attempted to escape, and a 2018 encounter where she said Combs raped her in her living room. Ventura says she felt trapped, citing Combs' access to guns and past threats, and that Combs continued to threaten her after the relationship ended. Violent behavior toward others. Ventura says she also witnessed Combs become physically violent with other people, including some of his employees. She said she recounted a time she saw Combs punch someone in the head. Ventura also described seeing Combs hold her friend over a balcony railing at her Los Angeles apartment early one morning. Ventura later said an altercation with Combs led to the end of a 17-year friendship with her best friend in 2018. Kid Cudi relationship. Ventura said Combs lunged at her with a wine opener after learning she was dating rapper Kid Cudi during a freak off in 2011. Combs told Ventura that Kid Cudi's car would be blown up, she testified. At some point, his car blew up. Witnesses to violence. Ventura testified that early on in her relationship, Combs security personnel and drivers saw him physically abuse her. In later years, she said assistants, including one named Mia, witnessed the abuse Ventura endured, and some assistants told her they quit after witnessing the violence. Ventura sought help for her drug use. Ventura said she was heavily dependent on opiates during her relationship with Combs. She said she sought professional help for the opiate use 5 or 6 times during the span of their relationship. She said she last did drugs in 2022 and is no longer on narcotics. Lawsuit settlement. Ventura says she received a $20 million settlement after filing a civil suit in November 2023. Those are the bullet points.
Oh, so it was 20 million. I thought she got 30 million. Damn, how did everybody get that wrong then? The fuck? Okay.
Is this in Miami? Is that where the trial is,
No,
or
they're
New
in New
York?
York.
New
New York.
York.
You
Hmm.
know, only
I
shit
want
like
to know
this
who this
happen.
girl Mia is.
Say that one more time.
The girl Mia that was mentioned.
Oh,
You
lawyers
got you said Mia,
pretend. I
right?
feel you. Okay, I feel you.
Yeah, Mia was a good friend of hers, and she used to work, like under Diddy as well. He got paid by her, and then she quit. I think because she saw abuse of Cassie, so she quit.
Yeah, and y'all want to talk about Kid Cudi's car getting blown up and what happened in December and
Let's
what happened
talk
in
about it.
January?
Let's
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
it.
it.
All right, so we
Let
got the
me
other
know.
part. The other
Let's
part is
speak
the
on it.
evidence that was shown today. Here's some items that were shown to the jury as evidence today. Cassie Ventura, Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend, continued her testimony today as prosecutors focused their questioning on issues of coercion. Here's some pieces of evidence that the jury saw as Ventura testified about the alleged physical violence that she sustained. Numerous photos of her black eyes, fat lip, a gash on her forehead, and other bruising on her body. Around 7 still images from videos of freak-offs which showed her with several different escorts. They were only shown to the jury and not members of the public present in the court. Ventura identified for the jury who was in the images. The defense attorneys will cross-examine Ventura tomorrow. Looking forward, Ventura's mother is expected to also take the stand.
They also mentioned that before the day got underway, they mentioned the prosecution was going to show still video. I'm sorry, still pictures, which they did, and they were saying that the defense was going to show video on the cross examination tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought they wanted to show video because it was semi porn being shown on there. But maybe I that was yesterday. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
like I said, this is
okay.
what they said this morning, and I believe the defense wants to show a more of a context. The video would show definitely more context and more what's different than I don't know what this nobody saw the unless you're the jury, nobody saw the pictures, but and I would imagine they'll only show the videos to the jury.
But
Um, yeah,
I just wanted to ask you because on the first day, uh, Diddy's lawyers had said, "Listen, if you wanna, if I'm when it comes to abusing her, I'm guilty." They already owned up to that. Like they already said, yes, I'm guilty of abuse. But it's like, is that double is that double jeopardy because he already done paid out for that, right? For the 20 or $30 million, 20 million, $30 million,
That
whatever it
was
is.
civil. That was civil, and this is federal. So
Right. So
no,
so I'm saying so he can still be
yeah, this is
charged
federal.
and go to jail for the same crime. I mean, same crime.
Well,
But
federal is a
civil's not
different
a crime.
prosecution.
No,
Yeah, civil is.
I'm asking for clarity. Somebody's answering it right here on Clubhouse, but I was letting her go. But
Well,
afterwards, you
it's
jump in.
federal because he's being charged with, I think, 4 federal felonies. One is kidnapping, like two kidnapping, and I don't know what the details of that, and human trafficking and prostitution,
it's
which are
definitely not
felonies. So,
prostitution. You got
Those are not the
not the
charges.
charges at all. We should get the exact words.
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's what I heard today. Go ahead.
Thank you. I see. That's what I'm trying for
Racketeering.
clarity. Thank you. Go ahead, Sweet or whoever else.
I don't have it in front of me, but I know it's definitely not that worded.
It's racketeering. It's 2 sex trafficking charges, and then 2 charges of him transporting people for to engage in sex acts or something like that. I forgot the exact wording. I'll pull it up though. Give me a minute.
Yeah, which everybody is probably gonna be locked up for. That's a I know, boy. I could be a cop right now and be a lead detective and lock a lot of people up for flying girls out to sleep with. That's sad.
It sounds like the prosecution has to make the case about the racketeering and the transport, over state lines um, for the sexual, for the prostitution. And so far, they haven't. It sounds like from the podcast I listened, they haven't really come close to proving that.
Actually, I'd like to refute that. Daniel Phillips was the first witness, and yesterday, or on day one, his accounts was that Diddy paid, requested for his services, had him travel, and paid him directly. So that constitutes that traveling over state lines because they're all over the place, so on and so forth. Secondly, that Mia situation, whoever basically mentioned who Mia was Diddy's personal assistant. And according to what my findings, She's going to testify, and she basically saw the abuse, can speak to it, and I had her own traumatic experience with Diddy where he dragged her out of bed and basically got her onto the balcony. There's some stuff coming out, so she's
But
another
that's not
witness.
what the charges are, though. I mean, I think the defense is going to say, yeah, he would, he abused, he's guilty of abuse, but that's not the charge.
No, but the charge is coercion, is sex trafficking, and sex trafficking has basically a component called coercion, and they're trying to establish that Diddy had a pattern of coercing individuals, including Cassie, Mia, so on and so forth. So, the coercion part is that last part that's going to basically make up that sex trafficking requirement.
Let me give you the actual facts. He didn't do a good job of explaining this escort that Cassie paid. That this escort that when he came to the door, he thought he was going to get paid $400 to come over and have sex with some couple,
Mm-hmm.
which is what he did. That's what he does for a living. That's his job. He's an escort, and he got hired. I think Diddy or somebody hired him.
Casey did. Cassie
Um,
did.
Cassie also it gets yeah. So anyway, she met him at the door when he showed up, and in a red lingerie, and told him at that time, my husband's not going to get involved. He just wants to watch. Calling Diddy her husband. He just wants to watch. He's not going to be touching you or doing anything like that. And also, it came out that several times she was the one to book the travel for him, maybe even other escorts, but definitely this particular escort. She set the travel up herself, um, and was really dictating, basically was about to have sex with him. Diddy's going to watch, letting him know this is how this is going to go. And that was a piece of it as well, which is, again, I wanted to give you a
Yeah,
little more
and she
clarity
and
on.
she paid him $4 grand. He thought he was gonna make $200, but
Four, 400. Yeah.
she ended up paying him 4 G's.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right. That's true. That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was gonna make a little 400. That's what he was used to making, doing what he
Yeah.
was doing.
Right.
But
That
she
was
dropped
yeah.
four bands in his hand at
Yeah.
the
A little
door, and then
$3,600 tip basically.
yeah, and everything else Sweet said he was pretty much, and that's why I said that earlier. As far as what the case goes by, Cassie was the one paying the people and moving people around. Now they put y'all keep saying did he do it? I'm just speaking about what the law, what the stuff is saying right now from court cases is Cassie was paying everybody, whether it was Diddy's money or not. She was the one
Paying
handling all the paperwork and traveling people.
and this
Well,
is
I
coming from
set
her
up
testimony.
from him.
Right. Go ahead, Charlene.
No, I was just gonna say I think it was set up by design like that so that it's kind of like she's a part of it, or it's like she's an accomplice, or he could just pin it on her because all the records are under her. It's not really under him. Like if you're looking at receipts, it's under Cassie, or you know what I mean. Like all paper trails lead to her, not him. But the main reason I came.
So on that point that you just made, right? Are you
Mhm.
saying that Diddy's like he's a super criminal genius, or like what are
No,
you
no,
saying
no.
when you
The
say that?
mastermind.
Yeah, I'm saying that he was just like covering his tracks. Part of it was like he made her do it so that it's not under his name, so he can say, "Well, you don't have me on tape doing that." And like you guys said, everything is shown under her, even though it's like it's kind of like someone giving you cash, but if you're the one who's making the transfer, everything's under your name. It's not under the person who gave you the cash. You feel me?
That's all
So
Well, that's
speculation.
the point
All of that is
of the
speculation
RICO,
right
right?
now.
I mean, I don't know. Someone said that the RICO charges were dropped, but ultimately, that's the point of when a person is indicted under a RICO case, because it's meant to get the person who is not committing the murders, who's not getting their hands dirty. And so I think that there is an understanding of that. But can someone clarify for me they drop the RICO charge against him
What
because
does
they felt like he
RICO
didn't
No,
have
mean,
enough?
No,
David?
I haven't
I
heard
haven't
that.
heard
Uh,
that.
what
I
does
haven't heard that
RICO
at all.
mean? What does it mean, RICO?
Racketeering, what is it?
Criminal.
What's
It's
the
got to
Some
I?
be a
racketeering,
criminal.
something in criminal organization. I forget what the I
Yeah,
stands for.
I
Somebody
forgot
could
the I
somebody could
is,
probably
but
clear that up
What?
just to get because it's and that's the whole. It's a
Enterprise.
conspiracy. It's
enterprise. Thank you, King.
a
Whoever said
whole,
that.
and it
Enterprise.
has to be more than just one person. And this is the
Right.
thing. This is a major thing that a lot of commentators are saying that all it's just him. And but they're gonna the prosecution has to prove that there were several different people that were a part of this criminal operation. Even though right now nobody else is being charged but Diddy, they
Exactly.
they have to they have to by definition for it to be RICO and all this they have to have a conspiracy, which means by definition there has to be people. Can't just be a person.
So
It's a whole what mastermind. It's a whole criminal operation. All of
Enterprise.
everything he's doing is just to do this sex, the
All right,
music.
to break this RICO thing down, right? RICO is an acronym for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, and it is federal legislation adopted in the United States in 1970 to fight organized crime. It establishes harsher criminal penalties and a civil cause of action for conduct committed as part of an ongoing criminal enterprise.
Right. So that's where they're going to try to bring in the whole the kid, what's his name, Kid Cudi, and bring in the whole criminal exercise. It was all about to do this sex and have these freak offs. Everything about the whole criminal operation that he was about, the music, all of it was so he could do this sex trafficking, and so he could do the freak offs. The whole operation of his whole get down was for that.
I heard
So yeah, so
something
we were
today
waiting
about.
for like I was always waiting for when I knew that he was getting charged with with the RICO originally. So we were waiting for additional indictments to come, but they never came. I'm gonna throw this out here because everyone is thinking like, Cassie, it's just by coincidence that her lawsuit, her civil lawsuit, was the catalyst for all these things happening. But I kind of think maybe the feds knew that they were gonna he didn't piss somebody off. I mean, there's that theory. The feds knew that they were getting ready to go after him. And they basically, do you think that it's possible they flipped her and said, hey, listen, look, you are going to find yourself, getting charged as well. And so they flipped her. Do y'all think that's possible? And that's
I,
how this
I heard
started?
I heard something about in 2000 his liquor brand, his alcohol brand, the company that owns it, and maybe someone else knows more. I don't remember the name of the company. That there was huge conflict between the two of them, and the company that owns his alcohol brand, which is a lot of his prosperity, has a way of destroying artists who betray them, and there's a huge conflict in 2000 between these him and the corporation. I heard that today.
Yeah, it's Deli Young
That was
Tequila.
very recent. That was really recent. And if you overlap those timelines, the company is Diego, which is owned by massive stakeholders, including BlackRock. And Diddy was going to sue them for discrimination, racism, a whole
Yeah.
bunch of things. It got really contentious. And Cassie and him settled, as well as the company settled within months of each other, and then 5 months after that, the tape was basically leaked to CNN or whatever, and it was basically displayed out on television. So I think that there definitely is some form of correlation from a theoretical standpoint. I would agree that this is not random. This looks to have been premeditated.
And this is where I think the overreach on the RICO element. That's where I think their prosecution is hurting themselves by going. It'd have been an easy slam dunk domestic violence case, abused her. That would have. But to them, that wouldn't have been big enough. To whoever them is, he mentioned whatever the mentioned people he just mentioned, and on whatever high levels, there's an intent to totally dismantle this dude. And 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 so they're turning something in from a freaky dude that like, and who ain't out there doing
And
freaky stuff,
freaky dude.
that's having parties, got money, and Hollywood, and people voluntarily, people are showing up on a regular basis. They know what the routine is. Escorts being paid. Yeah, they got their personal relationship stuff for sure. Kim Porter's over there. She want to have children with this dude. There's all this emotion. Whatever. The penalty of whatever that is on the moral level, on the personal. Hey, he's not trying to be a pope or go to the some church somewhere. He's living his life out there like a whole bunch of folks on this planet, guaranteed, and doing what he's doing. And then now they want to put a RICO thing that his whole operation. So
But my thing is, when it comes to the RICO, you can't charge somebody with a RICO and then, or maybe you can, because they just make up laws as they go by these days, dealing with from presidents to regular people. But I've never seen it where somebody was charged with RICO and then later on started picking up individuals later, like a year later down the road, or even now that we in the case is going on and you still don't have other people. Where have you ever seen that happen before? Where usually when they call out a RICO, they say, "Look, we looking for these 10 men, these 15 people, 20 people." And this is who we're looking for. We're gonna pick them all up right now, or if we can't find them, we're gonna put a warrant out for them to, if y'all see this person, lock them up. I ain't never seen a Rico where it's just Diddy by himself, and then a year or two later, we're gonna find the other. No, he's literally in a Rico by himself, which is brand new, and I ain't never seen anybody get picked up later on, because we all seen that on the news before, where you see 15 people or whatever. Maybe these two people ain't been caught yet, but they got warrants out. They gonna get caught
They,
eventually, and they all gonna get, if 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 depending on how bad the charges is, some might get bond. But most people, the head, definitely the head guy, like with Young Thug, he couldn't get bond because they really wanted him, and look how they fucked that up. Even though it was a state RICO, this is federal, but still uh they don't let the head guy out. That's why, even though Diddy put up all that money and passports and wealth, he's still locked up. They didn't give him no bond. So I'm just confused on this Rico, on how they're playing it, because the
maybe
way
they
I'm
thought he
seeing
was
it,
gonna fold and he didn't fold.
yeah, but the way I'm seeing it is, it's not gonna be, there is nobody else to get picked up to take the charges with Diddy. Ain't going, because where have you ever? I'm just saying, where, or somebody can refresh my memory on when when is this have ever happened in the case that you seen. The case done started now. Now we in trial, and they still ain't picked up other people for the RICO that's going to be going to jail with Diddy.
Never heard
Because
of that. Never heard of that before, man.
Cassie would have been the other one, but she's a fucking a witness. So like, who else is on the list to get picked up? Like,
But
I
they're
ain't
trying
never
to say
seen
it's an
this on some street
enterprise,
shit
right?
for real.
Does anybody got the original document? The original document, the original
I
when they
I
talked about
do.
the enterprise, what was they talking about? What's the enterprise?
Well, we looked at the definition of the legal definition, not the Clubhouse Webster dictionary. The legal definition, I mean, the only requirement was is more than one person. But I'll put it in the chat. But what you want me to read, the guy?
So when they on his indictment, when they broke down the Combs enterprise, what was they speaking about? Because they break that down.
The Combs Enterprise with the Diego Liquor, so the
It's
Ciroc.
Diageo.
Diageo. Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you. I didn't know how to pronounce that. Yeah,
Um, okay.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. You found it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, in essence, all I don't know much about, but I know that he was basically suing them for $1 billion to get more claim and positioning with its Ciroc brand.
Well, it
I
was
know
the
that
Diageo brand that he needed more claim with. The Ciroc, he messed up his own money by being an ambassador and didn't have no ownership. So then he came out with the Diageo, the Diageo, however, the one, the bigger D on it, the big ass D on it. But to come to find out, they wouldn't give him access to the guave, is what they put in to the tequila to make it, to have real authentic tequila. You needed that guave, and they wouldn't give him access to the guave to make the actual real tequila. But if you actually watch the news right now, they asked this guy in some shit. Look up that company that owns Ciroc and the fucking D word, man. It's killing me. But go look
It's
up what happened to them
Diageo. It's
today.
Diageo. Yo, listen,
Yeah.
listen. Let me
Do
read
you
this. Let
want
me.
the enterprise thing? Cause how we
Yeah,
got the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
alcohol?
Because I don't know what he talking about. That shit didn't
I don't
sound.
know neither. I just yielded.
No,
Go ahead,
Bird
go
started
ahead,
talking about
chat.
the Bird started talking about the alcohol, and I was telling him, you know, how Diddy messed up on the Ciroc brand, and then double back with his own brand, but couldn't get into couldn't get no access to the actual vendors and stuff that he needed to go crazy like he
Distribution,
needed to.
None of that's talking.
distribution.
None of that is talking about the enterprise, though. So back to the
Okay.
enterprise.
Yeah.
Go ahead, chat.
Well, somebody brought it up.
Hello?
Go ahead, chat. Come on now.
Jesus Christ. What you mean, come on now? These hot button people over there on CH think it's an interview with
Hey, it's
them.
just me over here. So watch who you talking about
No,
over
it
here.
ain't, because I know Sweet over there with you running his mouth.
Oh well,
What?
my bad too.
Yeah, I
Hey,
know he over
Yeah,
there.
Y'all gonna
yeah.
stop this
I
Man.
said that.
romance.
Go
I don't
ahead.
know
Go
Put
why you
ahead.
people
get.
on the job. Come on, let's go,
Go
chat.
I don't know
ahead.
Okay,
why
Go
you
so
get
ahead.
triggered by
Go
there's a
ahead.
Quinn
section, the
talking about all
purposes
that.
of the Combs Enterprise. You want me to read that?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Sorry. I have a cold, so excuse me. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this, defendant and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The Combs Enterprise, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18 U.S. Code Section 196. The Combs Enterprise consisted of Sean Combs, with all his little things, the defendant, entities within the Combs business, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, and individuals employed by and associated with the Combs business and others known and unknown. The Combs Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs Enterprise. The Combs Enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs Enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. So it has not named anyone else in particular, but it is a broad, from what I'm seeing, it's very broad.
So that should mean all those members, all those
And
people
there we
that
go.
work for them, every one of them should be getting ready to face the same time that Diddy's about to get. That's what
How did you get that?
that's what you just
Yeah.
read. That's what you just said.
Not the same time.
No.
Like if you get a whole drug indictment, right? And you got all of these different actors, you got people that's steering, you got people that's pitching, you got people that's bagging up. They not all gonna get the same charges the main person, right? But they will all get lesser charges. So those people should in the least be having lesser charges for their part in the enterprise.
Right.
Where are these people?
Exactly.
They're just dealing with Diddy right now. That's their focus. So
I
if there's
mean, if
other
he's
folk,
the top.
go ahead.
No, go ahead there.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's other charges that come up later down the line, it's probably not gonna basically be handled. They're really just after Diddy.
But you can't do that. But like, okay, y'all remember when Young Thug got arrested and all the homies got picked up too before the trial
No,
started? But some
no,
people played it out, other people got bonds, except for Young
no.
Thug. And then when people went to cases, some people didn't get no time. Some people got out. Others got a few years. Others got a long time. Thug got hit. You know, he took that goofy
What was
ass
the charge
charge.
though?
Oh shit! You got to say that again.
He said, "What was the charge? The charge was Rico. He had a Rico."
He had a Rico. He had a state Rico though. But I'm saying they
Oh,
picked up
state
him.
Rico. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I'm saying, but they picked up him and all the little homies before they even went to trial. The trial is up and running right now, and it's still only Diddy. You can't go back after the trial is over with and say, let me go get the extra people that we wanted to before. That's not how this shit work. Or unless it's a brand new, this must be something brand new. I just don't know. I ain't never
I ain't
seen
never
it
heard it
though.
work like that, Quentin. Usually you got that whole tree with Diddy at the top, and then all of those different other people as different
Exactly.
branches of the tree.
Exactly. Yeah.
Usually,
That's
but there could be exceptions to the rule. I don't know. I'm not well versed in
They
that
just
area.
said
That
what the enterprise is. If the enterprise includes all of his businesses, then all of the people working in his businesses is supposed to be arrested.
right.
well,
Yeah,
they
he said
they
I thought I
haven't
was
been
crazy when I
arrested, is
just
what
said
we're
that.
saying. So I
He
don't know
thought I was
So
exactly.
crazy
that's
when I
that's
just
that's
said
why
that.
the case sound like some bullshit.
It's
Ding ding
definitely
ding
Well,
ding ding
exactly.
the
ding ding
law
ding.
that they're going forward with the case, so obviously they feel like they have one.
Nah, they about to take it. I promise you, they ain't about to come out with how they think they about to talk. Come out like this is already messy as well. I mean,
Obviously, they're
come
counting
on,
on the jury to be so mad and so pissed off at this man over this woman that they willing to say, "Hey, Rico, triple murder, anything you want to say, we gonna say guilty." That's what they betting their cards on, because it ain't a whole bunch of other people even on the docket. Ain't even mentioned that the whole enterprise, everybody, all the other businesses and all the members and all the, well, shit, 100 people, 250 people. What do you can't just, that's the BS already being exposed right there. By definition, you have to name some names. You can't just generically say every freaking body that ever worked for you. That okay? Who are all these names?
right,
So that lets you know there's something else going on. Back to the point that was being made earlier about there's something else. There's some, we just want to hang this dude. We just want to, and so they trying to figure out how to put these different charges out there that have a much heavier penalty than just domestic violence, abuse. You know, you hit this woman several times and
right.
whatever that charge is.
And a nigga, excuse me, a man like that got money, man, he's not about to do no. Come on, man. Like we talking about somebody that had
But listen, I
a
mean,
billion dollars.
let's speculate here. Tomorrow, the defense is going to come up and they're going to make their case. I'm sure they will mention something about the structure of the RICO or give us some insight into why he shouldn't be charged with a RICO. And we can go based off of those arguments because right now, I don't think we have the expertise, brain trust, knowledge to figure out why the prosecution came up with this particular structure. Right. So
We do got some fucking brain
I was
power in
just
this
about to say I don't know
motherfucker,
who the
man.
fuck he
but
talking to,
Yeah,
but
you bugging
but we
out.
don't
I
have
didn't see
insight. We don't
shit
have
We do
either.
got insight. It's in the damn document that chat was just reading, right? This document
Something wrong with
lays
that
out
man.
the whole case, right? It lays out the case, right? In this document, right? In this particular part right here, it says means and methods of the enterprise, right? And it says that members and associates of Combs Enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the rooms in advance with required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak offs to try to mitigate the room damage, and arranging for travel for victims, commercial sex workers, and Combs to and from the freak offs. Resupplying Combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the commercial sex workers, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized freak-off supplies, including the narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of, you already know, the baby oil and lubricant. So all of these actors, all of these actors that they talking about, Where are they?
Hey, didn't they supposedly have somebody that was like a so called, or they was calling calling like a drug kingpin, and they went and intercepted a so called package that was coming, and bro only had like a few grams of some marijuana and like a little dab of cocaine or some shit like that. That probably wasn't even for him. I mean, it was so small, it had to be a personal use for somebody. Maybe the person that was picking up the drugs, like.
Well,
That's but the so-called kingpin, like they thought they wanted to get Combs on some bricks,
part of this
and
enterprise,
I ain't got
part of
nothing.
the enterprise we know is Cassie, Maya, the security
Yeah,
guards that was talked about that saw her get slapped in the car, who was driving the car. That's a few I know of just from a little bit that I heard
that
today.
big security guard that be on not T that always be doing them interviews. His ass need to go to jail because he made statements that, oh yeah, us security guards we'll know which ones the bottles of drug, and once the girls drunk them, we pick the girls up and take them to the back. Your ass belongs in jail. Or the moment he said that shit, they should have been locking his ass up right there because you incriminated yourself. But no, his little big ass still out here just doing interviews and shit. Like y'all not arrest, y'all didn't arrest nobody
So
but
by
Diddy.
definition,
And that dude literally
like you said,
incriminated
by
himself.
definition, Rico, and he done listed, my man just read off in the actual charges or whatever, defense, the charges, the whole nine. It's so all these folks should have been arrested according to what they say it's a Rico. And all of those enterprise people should all be locked up waiting for their own individual trial as it relates to this Rico. That's what the RICO says. That by definition, that's what it is, and these are all the people. And but what right now is crickets outside of Diddy. So you make sense of it.
Charlene, if you want to go, go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, my whole reason of coming up was to ask. That's my thing. I'm thinking, do you guys think they mischarged him, number one? And if it's by design that they mischarge it just to, publicly mess him over, etc. And I think Quentin was making comments about like his issue with that Ciroc thing. That's probably what that came from. Maybe like I heard certain things like they were saying about I don't know, it's a personal, like he had certain ties with certain people and this is the way that they're trying to get back at him, etc. So I guess my first question is, do you feel like the racketeering is a reach, and is it by design that they try to charge him that, and maybe they're not gonna be able to prove it?
If you check Chat GPT,
Mike. That's a good
right, and
question.
just basically
Hold on,
ask
hold on,
if
y'all.
you
Oh, that's
can charge one person for RICO, it
that's
says yes, you can absolutely charge
One
one
mic,
person
one
for
mic, one
RICO.
mic, one mic. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey guys, we're about to do a reset, guys. A hard reset here on CH. What does that mean? I mean, if you're listening to the podcast at home, guess what? We're having today on Thursday, yeah, 15th. We have another episode coming out. So you guys will hear the rest of this podcast on the episode that's coming out later on this evening. Also, so if you guys are at home, download the Chatter Social app. That way, you guys can come join us live and participate live in the Chatter Social app. Also, if you are in the room, guys, up top, we have links. We have links to the podcast. All right, make sure you guys are following the podcast. All right, so guys, we're gonna do a hard reset. What does that mean? That means that if you're on CH, that you guys are gonna be in the hallway for about 5 seconds or so. But hey, don't worry, guys. Just 5 seconds. Come right back in the room. I'm gonna do that right now.